Now, y'all know everybody has a fan favorite, and everyone has a life story. Well, today, we're going to take a deep dive into the life of Martin Payne. Now, Martin was born Martin Payne on October 8, 1965, to a single mother named Edna Payne in Detroit, Michigan. We can assume this because the show was created in 1992, and it introduces him as being 27 years old. Now, Martin had several love interests, as we can see with the episode with his son claiming that he was his dad. The kid seems to be around the age of 10 years old, so we can say that Angie Johnson was his love interest around 1984 because the episode aired in 1994. Martin also dated Keisha Cook in 1983, and we know this because he was dumped by her the night of the senior prom for Fontaine. Other flames sporadically pop up. Tanya Stevens appeared when her and Martin went on a date, and Gina agreed to it. Even though we can't accurately put a year on it, but we can assume it's around the 1980s because he and his current girlfriend at the time, in 1992, had a tight bond and they were living together. Gina was his one true love interest and eventually should become his wife later in life. Now, Martin had two best friends, Tommy and Cole. Martin assured them that one of them was the best man, and they got into an argument to let Martin know that they had been friends for 15 to 20 years. On the upper hand, Cole has been friends longer with Martin 2 weeks more than Tommy.
Come on, I know you like 2 weeks longer than Tommy.
Yeah. This had to be around the years 1975 to 1980 when they met as kids. Martin worked at WZUP AM as a DJ for Stan with his co-worker Sean. While hosting a radio show, Martin had made good fan reception and had many celebrity guests. He quit his job in 1993 to chase his dreams in Hollywood. However, things took a turn and he returned a week later to work. A year later, Stan sold the company to avoid the IRS, and Martin gets fired only to run away to start a new life. After failed attempts at random jobs such as a floor buffer and a mailman and an employee at Hoochie Burger, Martin finally landed a solid gig as a producer at Word on the Street, which was a talk show in 1994. Martin climbed the ranks quickly and became the host after Dr. Richard Tripper was arrested for polygamy charges. Martin ends up having a successful show even when the show was basically held for a bomb threat and ratings skyrocketed when he was threatened by a person who he had sent to jail. Mad Dog was the person of interest, which he had met in 1990 for hitting his car. Martin ends up having a very special friend come over, the notorious B.I.G. He interacts and tells Gina that him and Martin go way back.
Who to our guest, Kimmy?
It's cool, Gina. Me and Dumbo over here, we've been doing this.
Martin relays that he met Biggie back in high school on the wrestling team. So I'm assuming they met somewhere in the late 80s, like 88, 89. Martin and Gina ends up getting married in 95 and have a lavish honeymoon. They go about their lives babysitting kids, having parties, helping others, and all this comes to an end when Martin thinks Gina is trying to divorce him when he refuses to cook and hires a lawyer. The whole time Martin is in distress, but it does not mean divorce. Later he finds out that the lawyer is for her mother and attempts to sue the hairdresser. Martin and Gina stay together, but he did have one more wife, Pam. Martin and Pam mistakenly gets married when her and Gina sign a marriage certificate in the wrong place. Now, this isn't an easy fix, so Martin flies to the island to get his papers reversed, and this is done by Judge Lonnie Love, who was introduced to Martin in church back in 1993. The corrections were made and Martin ends up moving to LA with Gina for his final job, which he ends up retiring from. We can all agree that the character Martin Payne truly becomes a household name.